So good morning, my wonderful eighth graders. Miss James here. I hope you guys will listen to these videos that I put together for you today. Um, One thing I wanted to say was Happy Friday. We are going to take a break from Tom Sawyer for today. You guys have your rough draft due at midnight. If you guys turned in, for some reason, a few of you turned in a blank plot map and a blank narrative rough draft, you guys know that that's not okay, so please go back. If you're really having trouble coming up with a story, think about something that you like to do in your own time and then try to make a story about that. A lot of you were requesting, a little bit of help with writing your narrative. Um, by now, you should have, at least your plot map done, and you are at least maybe in the middle to the end of your story, I'm hoping, and you're putting the finishing touches on your rough draft. So for today, guys, one thing I did want to show you is the logical fallacy notes are all ready to go for you. Originally, I was only going to give you a couple at a time. I went ahead and just put all of them together. I added, we did either or and ad hominem. Now I've added the bandwagon fallacy, slippery slope, the straw man, hasty generalization, circular argument, appeal to authority, and there are others, but I wanted you to mainly focus on these 8 or 9 right here. These are the ones you're going to mostly see in Tom Sawyer. You guys already know, I can tell by the way you answered your attendance questions that you're really getting to know Tom. He is, a beautiful mixture of adventure and sneakiness, and, he falls in love so easily with the local girls, but he is also trying to get away with things constantly. He's manipulative. He knows what he's doing, but it only he thinks at this point, at his age, that all of this is only going to benefit him. Think about what he did with Ben Rogers. He convinced him to paint the fence so that he could have the Saturday that he wanted. So all of these types of, if you're going to make an argument with someone or you're going to make an argument in your writing, you want to avoid these logical fallacies, okay? These are only going to make your argument weak. And now that you know about them and someone tries to use these on you, you can be like, no, I already know you're using straw man on me. You just need to stop. Because people do use these. They're not thinking. They're, in the back of their mind, they know that they're not thinking logically. And so they're trying to persuade you to do something by digging into how you're thinking. Okay? So you have, let me go back here. So you have slippery slope, you have bandwagon. That's a big one in Tom Sawyer. Slippery slope is when, something small happens and you think it's going to lead to something larger, but not necessarily. And then you have your straw man. This one is pretty painful. I wrote that at the bottom. Oops. And then you have hasty generalization. Sorry about my dog. Circular argument, nothing gets solved. And then you have an appeal to authority, is when, why should all of these celebrities be selling us products when they don't even use them themselves? So you guys are going to take these notes that you should have already started. If you did not, now is a good time to take these notes. You are going to have a note check. So please write these notes into your notebook. Eventually, you're going to take a picture for me and, attach them to Google Classroom so I can give you guys an easy 20 points. That'll be an easy A for you. Also, when we play Tom Sawyer Bingo, these questions will be on Bingo. And then also, you're welcome to use these on all of your tests and quizzes. So why not write them down, right? Why not just get an easy 20 points? So logical fallacy notes are here for you on Google Classroom. Please get those down today. Another thing I really wanted to go over on your logical fallacies and Tom Sawyer. We were gonna finish, we should be almost done with chapter 3. We're gonna start chapter 4 on Monday. Another thing is Mackenzie, I've made you my camera star this morning, or this evening. But what I wanted to show you guys is if you turn this in blank, and the reason you turned it in blank or you left out things because you didn't know what your story was going to be about, please don't turn in your narrative rough draft until you have an idea of where your story is going. One thing I did like about Mackenzie, I'm putting Mackenzie on the spot, so sorry. But what I did like about hers is that she and Joanna had a plan. They brainstormed, they had a plan. They started out with their beginning of their story, and I want you to pay attention to how well they put this together. They have their rising action. These are all of the things that are keeping them from getting what they want. It's about an evil witch. Pretty great. So there's rising elements, then something great happens, and then it slowly starts coming back down into a resolution with a theme and a lesson. The authors are trying to teach us that the good always beats evil, no matter how evil the evil is, and no matter how strong they are, they always can be defeated no matter what. Okay, so this is evil versus good. There's even some evil versus good in Tom Sawyer, where you guys are starting to kind of catch on to the fact that we all have good in us, and sometimes, we do things that are like, oh, why in the world did I do that? But it makes us, human. We're not always perfect. Okay, so on here they have their story, but one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is that your story should have a beginning. It should have the rising actions, the elements that are going to keep them from getting what they want, and then they do, and then they slowly come back down into the ending, okay? So now their protagonist is the hero, Joanna, versus Mackenzie is the witch, okay? Very original story. What I do want to tell you is that the guidelines that I gave you guys on here, the creative title is fine, but a lot of you are turning in, you only have to pick one hook, okay? Like, for instance, even Mackenzie here, I even made a little note for her. You guys only have to do one hook, okay? When you are going to write a narrative, you're not going to spend, once we're hooked, we're in. So you only have to do one, okay? But I want you guys to pay attention, even though these probably should be separated into their own paragraphs. I want you to know that the structure I gave you with the beginning, the middle, and the end, that is to guide you in the right direction. You don't have to use that, and you can easily delete it, okay? That's just my markings where I put, this is where the beginning is going to go, this is where the middle is going to go, the resolution. But what they did was I want you to do this. I want you to make it feel like an actual story. So if you want to delete my structure, please feel free to delete my structure. You're welcome to do that. They were able to, remember, this is a rough draft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to give them notes. And I'm going to make recommendations such as add commas here. Does this make sense? Question mark. I'm going to have her separate this into different paragraphs. Because as you can tell, this is definitely at least 2 pages. This is going on 3 pages. Okay? Yours only has to be 2 pages, but it should look like this. It shouldn't be chopped up into individual paragraphs like this. That was just kind of a structure in which to guide you. Let me go back to this. I wanted to show you on here that when I gave you this right here, this is going to be helpful to some of you. Some of you have already turned this in. But on here, when I broke this down and I said, write your introduction, and then you have your beginning, life is pretty normal, you're in a neutral state, and then they have a call to adventure. See this? This is a structure in which to help you. Once you have all of this, and you have your beginning and your middle and your ending, right? You have all of this. You guys are welcome to erase the structure that I've provided for you because your words will do that for you. Once you have a story in place, it'll automatically read like a beginning, middle, and end. Okay, so if you look back at Mackenzie's right here, even though she needs to separate this into paragraphs, and it's a lot of beautiful writing, she didn't use my structure. She wanted to delete it, and that's fine. I want you to do that because now it looks like an actual story. Once upon a time in a scary and cold town. That's how yours should look. Yours should look and feel like an actual narrative, an actual story. And if you can provide dialogue, that's only going to help you. That's only going to make your story make sense. I'm going to feel like your characters are interacting with each other. I'm going to believe that this is an actual story that you have come up with yourself. Okay? So, again, just to reiterate, your story does not have to keep my structure. Okay? This is for those of you who are like, I don't know how to put together a story. What should I put in the right order? Okay? Pick one hook. Go with your beginning. There's a call to adventure. The adventure begins. What are the things and the trials and the struggles that the hero is going to go through in order to get what they want? Right here. Okay, that should be at least one or two pages by itself as far as what your hero is having to face, right? Say he wants to have, the hero wants to make it so the world is a safer place and he tries to get rid of the bad guys. Okay, so he's going to go here and he's going to have a call to adventure, and the call to adventure is going to be, I'm going to make sure that no one ever gets hurt on my planet, right? Say like Batman or something. So he's going to overcome this trial. He's going to make sure this girl stays safe. He's going to keep this guy from getting hurt. He's going to do all sorts of things before he can actually get what he wants, okay? I hope this is making sense to you. I hope this is helpful. But remember, this structure is kind of like a template, and you're welcome to delete it the way that Mackenzie did, or the way that all of you are turning in your awesome stories. If you see she left the hook, she really didn't need to do that either. She can pick one of these, erase my structure, and then move into her story, which is approximately 2.5 pages to 3 pages. Okay? If you guys turn in a page instead of 2 pages, I'm going to return it to you, and I'm going to say write more, because you are brilliant and you are at an age where you can write at least a 2-page story, I'm hoping, because I love reading stories that you guys create. Okay? So that is what I wanted to share with you guys for today. I am going to most likely make you another video, but for today on Friday, I want you guys to answer the attendance question. I really need you to get down your notes for the logical fallacies. I'm going back there, not there. And I'm going to go over the optic strategy for just a second. So on here, you have your logical fallacies notes. Remember, note check, and you can use them on bingo, and you can use them on your tests. So easy A. Okay, get those down. Step 2 is going to be make sure you have this done. Then you're going to move this into here, which is due at midnight. Okay, you guys are welcome to turn in late work, but I just need an email with it telling me why it's late. Okay, and then you have your optic strategy. Obviously, I'm on period 1, but all of the rest of you guys are going to see this also. So you have your logical fallacies. You have your plot map, which should have already been turned in, but some of you are a little behind. So then you're going to work on your narrative rough draft, and then you have your optic strategy. If your optic strategy is not getting done because of your narrative, that is okay. I would like the narrative to come first. You guys have been given a long time on both of these, but I'm being a little bit more forgiving because I know that your workload in all your classes is going to stress you out. So if you can do the narrative and finish the plot map and work on your 2-page story and turn that in by midnight,